Welcome to our Devos this week where we have been talking about thinking of others and caring about others. I don't know about you, but one of the biggest struggles that I have, even as a pastor, even though I've been doing this for close to 2 decades, is when you're in a situation where people are going through hardship and heartache. You just don't know what to do. You just don't know what to say. In fact, a lot of Christians, they run away from this. Pastor Mike has said it best. When people go through really, really tragic situations, others are afraid of you. They're afraid to approach you. They're afraid to talk to you. They're afraid to be themselves around you. And as Christians, we ought not to do that. That's not what we're called to do. We're actually called to be there for people. We're called to generate empathy, like I talked about at the beginning of this week. But I'll give you something that you can try that will help you the next time you're dealing with someone that's going through an incredible heartache. Practice the ministry of presence. Practice the ministry of presence. This is where you're like, what is that? Well, I'm going to tell you what it's not. It's not the ministry of wisdom. It's not the ministry of counseling. It's not the ministry of giving. It's not the ministry of solving their problem. No, it's the ministry of just simply flat out being there. That's it, being there. Now, what does that look like? Does that mean you go to their house, sit there for them, sit there with them for hours and just stare at them? It depends on your relationship. For some, that might be uncomfortable. But if you're a person that, your best friend's going through something and you hang out with them all the time, maybe give them extra time. When you're in a situation where, somebody's going through something at work, maybe it means that every single day you set a timer on your phone and you send them a text every day at that time. Hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. Send them a scripture. Send them an encouraging thought about them. Be specific. But just try to practice the ministry of presence. Don't run from the problem. Instead, minister to them by being there. Paul writes in Galatians that we are to bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. That doesn't mean that we go into life expecting that our burdens will be bared by others, but no, that we go into life trying to bear the burdens of others to help them to get through it, practicing the ministry of presence, of being there. You don't have to have all the answers. In fact, a lot of times, if you go into situations like that, instead of saying something, it might be better for you just not to say anything. I've been at many hospital beds where somebody is dying. I've been in many funeral homes where there's tragedy everywhere. And the most impact that I've had at those times is just standing there and shutting my mouth. What do I have to add in terms of wisdom that's going to help with the pain that they're going through? All that I have is what God has given me, and that's myself and His presence and praying for them. That's it. Sometimes you just being there is enough. So if you want to be known as a person that thinks about others the way that Jesus would, well, then maybe just show up and don't expect that you have to deliver something. Just you being there sometimes is all the people need to know that you're thinking of them.